Hey, good morning, everyone. This is our regular County Commissioner meeting for September 8th. We're holding it in the agricultural building this week because there's some repairs going on in the elevator in the main building, and we wanted to make sure that the public had access. Before we get going, Dallas, could you provide an invocation and lead us in the pledge?
Let's pray. Father in heaven, how good it is to be here. Father, to take some moments and reflect on you. And Father, you as our creator, as our guide. Father is the one who loves and cares for us. And we look around our world and our country, and we realize that we need that. We need that time with you. We need that time of your reassurance that you're still in control when there's turmoil and chaos going on all over. Father, we just pray that we cling to you in times of trouble, that we turn to you. We know that you'll deliver us, and we're thankful for that. Just now, as we enter into this meeting, we pray for a good meeting, time of decorum, of agreement, of moving the county forward. Father, we do also pray that you'll be with our first responders, our law enforcement, our fire and medical. Father, as they serve us, may you protect them. We also are thankful and think of our county employees who are out on the roads on a daily basis. We just pray for protection for them as well. Father, guide us in all that we do. May we always be searching your will for our lives in the county. It's in Christ I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dallas. So the time is now 9:04. We'll call the meeting to order, and could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Thayer. Here. Commissioner Richardson.
Here.
Commissioner Pettit.
Here. Okay, first item of business we have is approval of the agenda. I'd accept a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. First item of business is the consent agenda. I'd accept a motion.
I'll make a motion. We approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda items as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. Elected official, department head, staff report. Sherry, do you have anything? Yes.
Good morning, Commissioner. Sherry Hewlett, Elbert County Treasurer and Public Trustee. I've informed you, but I wanted to inform the citizens of our annual tax lien sale. It will be a live auction this year, scheduled for November 16th. It'll be in the BOCC room at the admin building. We do have this room reserved as an alternative if we need to, if things get bad and we need a little more space. So we do have this room reserved. The alternate date, if we have a blizzard or some inclement weather, will be November 23rd, same locations. The sale itself will start at 9. Registration will start at 8. However, we're encouraging investors to pre-register, and the registration form, the W-9 form, and the declaration compliance form is all on my website. So if you just go to the Treasurer website and go to tax lien sale, you'll see all those documents there, as well as a procedural document that they can read through. I will be advertising the mobile homes, personal property, and state assessed starting September 23rd. That'll be a one-time publication. And then the real property will advertise for 3 consecutive weeks starting October 14th in the Elbert County News. But otherwise, if any investors have any questions, please give us a call. Ed Kovitz will be conducting the auction again this year, so we're looking forward to a live one We had the online last year, which went very well, but we're looking forward to doing a live auction again this year. So, and just so citizens know, even though you pre-register or register, that doesn't mean you have to buy anything. You're certainly welcome to come and observe just to see how the process works. So again, if there's any questions, give us a call. And oh, one other thing, if you do pre-register, they can drop it off in our office at the sub building. They can email it to us or mail it. But if you mail it, you want to make sure you have enough time for us to get it. So we just, hopefully by pre-registering, it'll cut down on the time we have in the morning, because it gets kind of crazy in the morning. So public trustee side, about the same. We're up to 8 foreclosures now. It's not horrible, probably about the same as what we had last year. So but other than that, everything's going good. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Dallas, did you have anything? Or? No? Okay. Sure. Okay, thank you. And I know you're on the schedule later, so. Sam, did you have anything? Okay, thank you. So that, we'll move on to citizen public comment. My understanding is we didn't have anybody that emailed requesting to be called or sent any comments in. Okay, so within the room, do we have anybody that would like to make public comment? This is for items that aren't on the agenda. Okay, seeing none, I will close public comment at this time, and we'll move to discussion items. First we have is an update on the economic development portion of the website from Slate Communications. I think this is being done remotely, so. Okay, so we'll take a quick recess while we're getting that queued up. Oh, okay, we won't. We'll just sit for 2 minutes.
Hello, this is Ryan. Hello, this is Ryan.
Ryan, we can hear you.
Yeah, yes, I'm here.
Alrighty. As Commissioner Richardson, so we've got the slide deck queued up. I'm not sure if you're driving it from your end or. Okay, I guess we are from here, so just let us know when you want to move forward.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for the time this morning. Yeah, so I'm not going to be driving anything, and fortunately there's not too many visuals we're going through.
Okay.
So I think what you probably have up is maybe, is it the website?
Yes, so the kind of the homepage of the area with a, looks like a picture of independence. We have strength in numbers, room to grow, and we're on your team.
Okay, great. Great, yeah, that's exactly where we should all be. So what I wanted to do is just kind of briefly talk about how we got to this point. I'm sure Mark has been checking in, but one of the things that I wanted to review is just the priorities that we have with the economic development marketing for Elbert County. So we have 3 priorities, and this will, essentially be reflected in the website, and then I'll review the priorities and the key messages. So with the priorities, our number 1 priority is making sure that we increase awareness of Elbert County as an approachable organization. Making sure that people know that Elbert County is open for business and bringing in new business. So that approachability is going to be really important. So making sure that whatever we do present, it has that general warmth, that we are connected and we're ready to connect with you. The second priority is to just engage new potential businesses And this would be through paid and free marketing platforms. So we're going to utilize everything from LinkedIn to, other types of social media, and then potentially some paid advertising as well. And then also, something that is very important is just to make sure that we maintain and foster those current relationships that you have in the county with businesses. So, making sure that we're really focusing on retention and expansion. And so what we want to do is we want to have this website that encompasses all of that. It's Elbert County is open for business. Elbert County is your resource. So if you are looking to expand, this website is a portal to kind of get you there and then also connect with Mark.
Great, thanks.
And then essentially strategies, well, I guess we can talk about key messaging here. The strength in numbers, what that means is that Elbert County does have the workforce, and it does have existing complementary industries. So Elbert County has the ability to potentially match new businesses with current businesses. And so how to help those partnerships and how to show that there is that workforce in the county. Secondly, our messaging is room to grow. So, when you look at the multiple transportation hubs that just surround the county, from I-7 to I-25 to some of the state highways to the railroad, and then, 3 nearby airports from Centennial, TIA, and Colorado Springs, you really have the ability to make it easy for people to move in and out of Elbert County, whether it is a manufacturing, industrial, or some technology-based business. They have the ability to move around quite a bit, and I think that's really, really crucial. Also, the affordability of Elbert County in contrast to surrounding counties and the region. And then the we're on your team piece of that, again, it's really important that Mark is out there, that Mark's face is out there, that people know that, whether they're going to him or whether they're going to, the commissioners, your group, you are available, you're willing to help them, you're willing to support them. So that's going to be crucial. I think, if you look at a lot of other communities, they run into that issue of they're having to go through a rigmarole. The development review process can take forever. So really trying to make sure that if you're looking to bring in a new business, that process is laid out there in the website, that it's really pretty intuitive and straightforward. So what we'll do is, since you do have the website up, I'll just kind of review our thinking behind the actual structure and design of it. So really we have a few key elements when we put together a website like this for economic development. Is we want to show that there is life in Elbert County, that there is a lot going on from residential development to commercial development, that there's property available. So that's really important. So we want to show these great visuals of this is a county that does have room to grow, responsible growth. But then we also, secondly, we want to make sure that we bring in the actual character of the county within the website. So how do we take the existing Elbert County website, the brand colors, bring in an economic development, but we want to make sure that it's modern. We want to make sure that it has that character of, like, we are a rural county, we are a county of blue collar, hard workers, but we also have, the ability to be this bedroom community. So we want to kind of embrace that more Western country lifestyle, innovative and technology, and then also just the Elbert County brand. And so what we did is we, of course, incorporated the core key colors of Elbert County, which is the yellow wheat color, and then the orangish red color. One of the things that we want to do with websites normally is just kind of really put that big, beautiful image up front. So what you're looking at here is a hero banner image that's actually going to be a video. So we were out there a few weeks ago. We got a bunch of drone video of some new developments, some land and property that's available, some Main Street video. So we have a good amount to work with. And so what we'll see at this top page banner is there's going to just be a rotating videos. of different aspects of Elbert County, and that we have strength in numbers, room to grow, and around your team is going to be that consistent message that will be over the video as the video is playing. That's great for desktop. When we go to mobile, it'll probably just be a still image, just because if we try to put video on a mobile, it's going to be very slow to load. And so that's initially what people see up front. But at the very top, we have the top-level navigation, fast facts, doing business, Elbert County living. It's really crucial that we speak in business owner developer terms, making sure that we have an approachable language. And so what we really want to do is we want to make sure that people can kind of easily get to the interior pages that they want to get to. So if they go to fast facts, that's going to take them to a page that has a listing of available properties, link to some of the available properties. It's going to have infographics on, what your workforce breakdown is. It's going to have infographics on, your median household incomes, average home costs. Just anything that if you were a potential business owner, you'd want to know, like, can I build there? Are my employees going to be able to find housing? Is it going to have the lifestyle I want? Is there going to be a golf course nearby? So just things like that they would take into consideration when they're interested in Elbert County. Doing business, of course, is going to be a little bit more of the dry resource material. But, of course, if you're that serious, you're going to start looking at, just some of the really detailed Excel sheet figures of what it does take to do business here. And then also, breaking down the development review process. So some more of that technical information. So if you are willing to make that next step, you'll probably click through to this page. And then you'll contact Mark, and Mark will walk them through how to either start a business in Elbert County or expand their current business in Elbert County. Elbert County Living, now that's going to be I call it more of the fluff. It's going to be that brochure for Elbert County. It's going to be, this is how great of a county it is. We show that this is a family-friendly place. This is a place to, raise a family, settle down, retire, do whatever. What makes Elbert County great is just the amount of amenities, from that Western lifestyle to having, recreation like golf courses and trails and things like that. So when a business owner wants to move to Elbert County, they have to be sold on, like, this is a place for me to live, and it's also a place where my family can thrive. And so that Elbert County Living is going to be that showy brochure page within the website. How we help, again, I think that's just kind of a breakdown of, all the ways that Mark can help out, but also what other types of grants and funding are available for businesses. And then the find property was the last first level navigation there. And essentially the find property is going to be what that, we're going to be able to initially we're going to work with a existing website platform that has a property listing of all the available properties in Elbert County. But what we're going to do is we're going to move into something that's a little bit more automated, that is updated. And so that would be a third-party application. But that's phase 2 of the website, of really developing this find a property page. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that we have this Greek text here, and it says Lorem ipsum dolorsit. So that's basically, that's going to be kind of a combination of some of the key messaging. So we're gonna put out that really personal message of, like, we are a team that meets your needs when it comes to developing your business or bringing your business to Elbert County. So it's going to be that kind of feel-good statement. It's going to be a call to action. It's really going to entice people to kind of want to learn more. So if you look to the right of that Greek text, you see an 86%, 110K. So this is going to be the kind of mini infographic piece. This is what everybody is pretty, they can relate to. So if we look at 86% of something, that could be the population with a college education, or, the types of properties are this designated for this. The 110K, that could be the amount of available acreage within the county, 34K acres. So we're just going to find what these key figures are to add to these infographics with this particular section here. Now, just if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind just checking it. Are you? Is everybody hearing me okay? Is this? I want to make sure I'm kind of following along the lines of how you're going through this this PDF, this slide here.
Yeah, we're tracking with you. So
Okay, great. I really feel like I'm blind here. I hope everything looks good on your end. But as you can see with this section, the infographics are really going to be pretty crucial. It's going to be that part that's really going to help sell Elbert County. We wanted to add a little bit more of that Western character too, but also have that modern. It's kind of this metal, brushed metal look here in the background. Now, if you scroll down, we have the success stories, and what you'll see are these 3 columns, and one has the water tower in the middle there. On there has a golf course, but essentially this is going to be one of your most important features of the homepage, and that's why we wanted to make sure that it was up front and on the homepage here. Success stories is going to lend the most credibility to Elbert County. As commissioners, you can talk about how great Elbert County is when it comes to bringing your business or expanding your business, or Mark can tout the advantages of Elbert County. But as a business owner, you're not going to be 100% convinced. I think what's going to convince you more than anything are your colleagues. So if there are current successes within the county coming from existing businesses, that's going to sell them more than anything. And so what we like to do is we like to showcase and put these successful business owners up front to help tell their story, to give a testimonial. With these stories and testimonials, you're going to see a lot more engagement because, again, if they can see a business that they could partner with, they're going to reach out to them. They're going to call them up and they're going to say, okay, so you're warehousing, I do processing. Is there a way that we work together? What's it like working with the county? And so having these existing business owners are going to help sell Elbert County, and they're going to do a much more successful job. So part of this marketing plan is we're actually going to be going out to 6 different business owners. We're going to be doing short interviews, developing really nice quotes from them and testimonials, and then putting these success story case studies, and then having a nice photo to align with that. And so that's going to be when we're looking to launch. We'll have these up. So I think in probably the next month or so, I'm going to be dropping back down and getting some video and photography of these local business owners. And so what we hope is right now we have 3 on the page here. We're getting 6 up front, but when you see that See More Stories button at the bottom there, that's going to take you to the full round of success stories. So right now we're looking at 6. Maybe a year from now there's 9, 12. So just as many as we can start to populate. And this also lends content for the newsletter that we'll be developing. So every newsletter could just be a success story. We can tell that story of, how successful they were when they moved their business or they expanded their business in Elbert County. If you scroll down, we have the map. So, what we're looking at is essentially we're giving the viewer on the website a good 10 seconds just to see where Elbert County is located in Colorado, and all the nearby amenities and cities, towns, airports. So we just want to give everybody a glimpse. Now, if they really want to kind of get in the nitty gritty and look to see, what other types of industries and businesses are in Elbert County, that's when we really do encourage reaching out to Mark, and then also adding some more detail on the interior pages. But this is basically just to show that, Denver's only 52 miles. It's a little over an hour by travel. Centennial Airport's 30 miles. It's about 40 minutes via car from Kiowa. So trying to show that everything is close by, making it look as if Elbert County is more centralized in the state. It somewhat is, but at the same time, I think showing that there still is that proximity to the mountains, to recreation, to transportation, and then showing some of the key cities within, or the key towns in Elbert County as well.
Hey, Ryan, I know it's all work in progress, but on this one particular, could you shift it a little enough to capture Lyman and indicate the Ports to Plain Highway that kind of runs north to south through there? That's a pretty big western regional trans hub that is kind of missing off there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think we could pull the map over, add Lyman, add the highway hub, and then it'll make Elbert County again look a little bit more, even more centralized too. So absolutely.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. What is and I'm sorry, what is the state highway number?
It's 71 that comes up, but it links down into Texas and eventually to the ports down there and terminates up, rolls through into Nebraska. It's a multi-state project. The Colorado is actually a little behind all the neighboring states in improving that north-south connection, but it's something they've been continuing to strive for.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think if that is, and I'm sorry, I didn't know enough about it, but yeah, I would definitely add that, and then we could just make sure that we do add Lyman as well.
Yeah, if you Google Ports to Plains, it'll give you a lot of background on that.
Ports to Plains Highway, okay. And then if we scroll down, we just have the call to action. I'm just trying to encourage people just to reach out to Mark. I think it's really important to have his photo to make it easy for people to call or email him. This is going to be on most pages, so we just want to make sure that after people kind of go through an interior page, they scroll down. They're going to see Mark. They're going to want to connect with him. And the footer there, we have the subscribe for news. So that, essentially it's really important for us to build our e-newsletter subscriber list. That's going to be one of our core marketing conduits, just because it's going to be current. It's going to be of interest and relevant to who we're sending it out to. So it also shows that we do have an engagement. So we can, if we can build a list of a few thousand people over the next year, we can see that, roughly 25% of them are reading the newsletter regularly. So those are really important. That's really important data for us to know that we're actually successful in what information that we're sending out there. Now, as you scroll down, we have, essentially that second page there. It has the hero banner image as well. It doesn't have any tagline over it or anything like that. So what this is, and this is something that we developed with our content management system, is we call it, essentially a Frankenstein page. It has a bunch of different sections, and it gives the person, i.e. us and Mark, to add content, to move different sections around, just depending on the content that we have for each page. So if this were the doing business page, we would probably just have the page headline that would say doing business, and then an intro paragraph that just says why Elbert County is a great place to do business. And so this isn't really reflective of the doing business page. This is just reflective of all pages. So we have, I think probably about 6, 7, 8 sections, maybe even more on this page. And what we might do is, if we develop this doing business page, it might just have 4 of those 8 sections. And so this allows Mark to have a lot of flexibility of how he wants to develop that page. And so if you just scroll down, we have resource links. We have, how the content will actually appear when we want to tell a much longer story. room for really nice photos. If you scroll even further down, we have the development spotlights. These are going to be really crucial as well. So I think really kind of as there is a development underway, we can talk about the, this again is part of that credibility piece is we can talk about the development. We can talk about the size. We can talk about the actual project design and construction timeline, that kind of thing. So anything that really kind of inspires new businesses to say, hey, there is growth there. There's 3, 4, 5, 6 developments going on right now within the county. It will inspire them to reach out. And if you scroll down, there's that red section where it says preferred medical products. So again, this is the testimonial piece. And when we go out and get those interviews, this is just one way that we'll use that quote. So these are going to be really kind of nice just to sprinkle throughout the website. If we just have a really, really nice quote, like, if it is in relation to just having those resources from the Economic Development Department, the business owner could say, Elbert County was there every step of the way. They provided me with applications for grants and so on and so forth. So I think those are going to be pretty crucial just to kind of tout how great Elbert County is to work with. As you scroll down, there's the news section. And again, that's any kind of news. It just feel good news. It's stuff that is just relevant to any type of business within the county. As you scroll down, video type, the video piece right here, that's going to be a video gallery. That's probably going to be phase 2. I think when we start telling those video stories, this is where it would live. So we could tell those video stories of local business owners. We'd have them interviewed, maybe like 30-second pieces where they're just talking about their business, what it's like to do business in Elbert County. And if you scroll down, again, you have those infographics. So depending on the actual interior page, these infographics would change. So, if you're looking at find a property, these 4 square modules here could all be reflective of, agricultural property to property with built-in infrastructure, just breaking down the different types of property that's available. And then if we do, resources, if it's like the doing business page, maybe it's just like, 10 grants that are available within the county and the state that, so it all just depends on, the actual interior page of what that content will be. So that's where we are right now. So the goal with the website is, right now it's with our programmers. So the design phase is completed. Right now the programmer is working on it, and then Mark and I are meeting next week. We're going to start to input the content. So we're going to go through the website. I think we're dedicating Tuesday next week just to start getting this so it's in beta form, and it'll be ready to go live pretty soon. So we've been moving pretty quickly on this, but again, what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring the commissioners here together just to see our progress, what we're doing. And if you have any questions with regard to the site, if you think that there's things that we could add, or anything that we could talk about, that's what we were hoping to achieve this morning.
I think you got any comments or questions? Yeah, I know it's an awful lot to take in, and when you're starting really from scratch in terms of an economic development department and what we want it to do for the county. And I think those top 3 things you hit, that we're open for business. We want to connect to new businesses and foster the current ones. Or I think you've hit the big pieces there. And then I think I know Mark wanted to be here today, but had another appointment that he couldn't get changed. So, but I think just as we roll through this, to really focus on the fact that we do have a big workforce, and it leaves the county every day. So if we can turn a little bit more of that inward and be a little more self-sufficient, we've got a big market, but again, they leave the county and do their shopping elsewhere. So, I mean, I think getting all of this together and doing it right, I mean, I know it's a big chunk to start, but I think it's moving in the right direction. Again, we've done a lot of things over the years that we've done fast, but not necessarily well. So I think marching through this thoughtfully is definitely going to pay off bigger dividends. Would ask if there's any public comment on this while we've got you on the line, sir? Yeah, if you could at the mic, just so Ryan can hear you on the phone at the other end.
My name's Gary Dickinson. I don't know if you can hear me okay. All right.
Ryan, can you hear?
One of the things I noticed is that if I was bringing a business to Elbert County, is what resources are available, like internet. How do I get water? Some of these sites are not in town or near water. So the resources that you need to conduct business along with employees that are available. So how many houses are being built means more, employees or possible employees. But yeah, if internet's kind of a big one. I don't know if there's work being done on that in the county, but that is a big drawback that I know of for people wanting to move here and businesses wanting to move here.
No, thank you for that, because I know Mark has been digging deep into the broadband piece, what's available, what might be coming, and then how do we encourage broadband to hit some of the places in the county where, it might not be initially economically feasible, but, can we pull together state or federal grant monies to at least get a backbone of something in? Because we found that with it's the rural nature of the county. It feels like we've got a lot of people moving in, but overall to have a sustainable market for folks to deliver services to, we're still pretty lightly populated. So those are good comments, and I appreciate them. Do we have?
Yeah, thank you. And Gary, thank you for that. We definitely are planning to address all those. Obviously, some of the things that you talked about when it comes to available properties, what type of infrastructure leads up to the properties, that is going to be essential when we do the Find a Property interior page. And then, as far as like the housing availability, that is kind of a hot button issue right now within the county. So we are going to address that as well within the website, what the available properties are, average home cost, that kind of thing. When it comes to, broadband, fiber, and, any type of internet access, that is going to be something that is, usually one of the top 5 questions any new business will ask is, do you have fiber? When you say no, it hurts. But at the same time, Elbert County is not alone with the rest of the state. In Colorado, we're just so far behind fiber infrastructure. So it's something that is definitely worth talking about on the website. How to address it, we're not sure yet, but I think that's something that we would want to.
Yeah, and I think the final one would just be, as we focus images and others, we're hoping to bring in business and employment, and not necessarily just continue to be growing as a place for Denver workers to live. There's a place for all of it that's going on, but the real focus that brought Mark in was really to bring those businesses to the county. So, thanks. Ryan, if you had anything to wrap up, the time's yours, and we've got some other items we've got to get to on the agenda, but I do appreciate the kind of azimuth check on where you're at, so thanks.
Yeah, thank you. And, I appreciate your time. The only thing if you had a few extra minutes after I get off the phone here, I sent Dallas a link to, it was a video link that shows some of the drone footage that we had shot. So if you have a few minutes, you can watch that. It's pretty nice. But no, as far as moving forward, we're heavily focused on this website. The other pieces of the marketing plan when it comes to building a subscriber list and newsletter, that LinkedIn presence, all that. That's going to be shortly after we get the site up and running. We just want to make sure that we have a base, solid foundation to bring people back to when they want to find out more information. So I appreciate everybody's time and thank you. And yeah, we look forward to getting this live and a little celebration. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. All righty. Next item we have up was an update on the 2022 budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sam Albert, County Managers. Just kind of an update of where we are in budget. We have finished our collection of potential revenue for next year. We've moved into the expense stage as we start. We've asked all the departments to give us their expenses, what they think they're going to have for 2022. We should be able to get all those, and that's due by the 10th of September. We'll hope to have an internal draft and completed by 9/20. We'll have another meeting after that, and then potentially a BOCC study session on the budget on the 30th with a draft budget deadline of October 15th. We still believe we're going to meet that 15 October deadline. It's going to be tight, but we will make that for sure. That's kind of the status. We're on schedule and to deliver that draft budget deadline on the 15th of October, and then we will have the final budget prepared. And there'll be a public meeting on the budget on the draft after that 15 October deadline, and then the final budget will be the middle of December. We'll have that done. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks. Any questions or comments? No, thank you. I know it's a slog every year to work through, but yeah, just that. Do we have any public comment on this item? If not, thanks, and we'll look forward to seeing the 15th of October. Okay, so next item we have is discuss the acceptance of some pieces of Augusta Loop, I understand.
Commissioners, Rory Hale, Director of Public Works. This is kind of a housekeeping item. We've been working on this for probably a good past 4 years. We worked with the developer and the Metro District in Spring Valley Ranch and the original part of Spring Valley Ranch. Inertia provided them with some guidance as well as staff and their own consultants to bring Augusta Loop up to a satisfactory condition. Those repairs have been completed. It's roughly not quite 7,500 feet of road of Augusta Loop. We wanted to at least focus on the primary collector within the subdivision. Staff was involved in the inspection process. We feel like we've got a lot better road at this point. The developer, the Metro District in particular, submitted a letter requesting that the BOCC consider formal acceptance of the road so that Road and Bridge can begin legally maintaining it and providing snow removal operations. So I think the intent of this was just to have it as a discussion item. If you had any questions, and then if it be your pleasure, move it to action item as a resolution.
Questions? When was the road originally put in? It's quite a while.
2000, early 2000, 2005 or 6.
Okay. So just one of those that over time the county didn't. I think the way our process works, I know we were kind of had a process at the point where we really weren't monitoring from the county side timelines. We were dependent on the contractors to come to us. So, and I know that's changed quite a bit over the last few years. So.
Yeah, and just so you know, the process in the public improvement specifications required that once complete, the developer requested initial acceptance. That's at the point in time where the warranty period would begin. Prior to the 2-year warranty period, the developer again was required to contact Road and Bridge to do any final inspections, and then make a formal request to the BOCC for formal acceptance. And yeah, there were some balls dropped. So, we're trying to get, on the staff level, we're trying to get to the point where we're at a minimum, we're flagging these prior to roughly within, I think, 4 to 6 months of the 2 years, just as a courtesy to remind the developers or the metro districts that, hey, your 2 years is coming up and you're going to have to contact us, do any inspections that are necessary, and or bring up the condition of the road so it can go through formal acceptance process.
I appreciate that. So if we don't have anything else, we can either just roll this on to consent at the next meeting and have it done at that point. And just let us know if anything comes up between now and then on this one.
Okay. Thanks.
Do we have any public comment on this? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rory. Seeing none, back to you, Sam, with the business and nonprofit grant program under ARPA now, I guess, versus CARES.
So, Commissioners, this will be our third round of small business and nonprofit grants. As you mentioned, the first round was CARES Act funding. The second was special funding from the state for a select business types. They call it the small business grant program. And then now we're at the ARP funding. We're able to, we're looking at about $200,000 total in the pool. Grants up to $10,000. We're already getting applications out. We've posted the information on the website and social media, and I believe the papers are going to be putting out some information also on this. We're going to take applications until the end of the month, and then we'll rack and stack them and see what kind of response we got. Again, this is business impacts or nonprofit impacts due to the COVID emergency, and it's a lengthy application, but we haven't had anybody say it's too long, so we're in good shape there. So I'd be happy to answer any questions on that.
Questions or comments? Yeah, I just think it's been interesting as we move through this, where we had businesses that were shut down and couldn't make money. Now we've got businesses that are open that can't get employees because of other decisions that have been made in relation to COVID that are preventing them from being fully open and profitable. So
we are looking at impacts in the 21 time frame, because we can have the year-end the tax reports for that. We will probably also consider a future one if we continue to see low employment and businesses closing certain days of a week, or that we hear from the business community that we need a fourth round. I would bring that forward out of that ARP money to consider that in the future. But right now, this is for business and nonprofit impacts in the 20 and the late 19, early 20. Or throughout the end of 2020 time frame.
Okay. Yeah, I know you had a very successful kind of first meeting, getting together all the nonprofits in the area. I think there's another one.
We did that. We called it Neighbors Helping Neighbors, and we actually learned quite a bit. And I think we have some good collaboration between the nonprofits and the county offices that help those nonprofits of similar missions or back each other up. And so I think we're going to see some synergy out of that. We heard from the nonprofit community that they were feeding a lot of people, that they were getting increased requests for services. And so we have made sure in both phase 1, we couldn't do it in phase 2 because of the state restrictions, but in phase 3, those nonprofits can come and now ask for up to $10,000 to continue to if it, you know, an increased demand due to COVID is a qualifying piece of this and would make them eligible for these grants.
Thank you.
And then the next one, you know, you're right, Commissioner Richardson, is that the 15th of October is our target date to have that next Neighbors Helping Neighbors group meeting. We're going to try and do those quarterly, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate that. Just kind of that next meeting to kind of see how everybody's doing in relation to, like I said, there were a lot of folks, depending on what jobs they had, that weren't impacted at all. Others recovered really quickly, but I know there's still a big population out there they're serving that's still struggling. So if we can help, that'd be good. Thanks. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, the next item we had was just our way ahead on the requirements for the Justice Center.
Commissioners, as you know, we pushed hard to consider a ballot initiative for the November election to fund improvements to the Justice Center, including the jail, courts, sheriff's office, potential coroner's facility, and some increased space for emergency management and IT, since they're co-located over here. We decided not to go forward with that ballot initiative, but the planning and the need hasn't changed. The need is still there. So the next step is to kind of reassess what the plan would be going forward. Maybe do some polling of citizens to find out what's the most important to them, and how a ballot initiative would go over if it was phrased as a type, you know, along these lines A or along these other lines B. And so that's the next step. We haven't set that meeting yet, but we're hoping to have that set up soon. Be happy to take any direction or answer any questions you guys have on that.
There's no question that the Justice Center facility needs to be updated, upgraded, and done. But one thing when you have a ballot issue, and I've been through those before with the 1% that the Public Works gets, is that you have to have a complete presentation and presentation to the public so that they understand the need and the facts that everything is well planned.
Thank you, Commissioner. You're exactly right. We need a comprehensive story of how we got where we are, what we need right now, where we're going, and that was part of the reason for the delay on that ballot initiative, is we did not have time to prepare that story and get it out to the public, and plan a series of meetings with the public to answer any questions that they have.
I think we need to get a workshop here fairly soon with the sheriff's office so that we can get on the same, so that everybody understands where we are and we have the same story rather than having some of this divide that we've had.
That'd be great. I'll get that set up. If after the 15th of October would be better for me, since that's my budget deadline, but around that time frame, I think we'll have plenty of time to get that done.
Okay. Yeah, and I think just bringing in the coroner, the courts, DA, there was a lot of good work done to determine the requirements, but I think the solution may not, I mean, we may have been presented the absolute right solution, but I think kind of taking everybody through what the right solution is in a way that, you know, we can ensure the public also understands or has confidence that this is the right, cheapest, adequate taxpayer solution to the requirements that have been identified is important. And having all those folks around the table at the start is critical, so we don't.
I've queued up the investment team, investment advisors, as well as the law firm that wrote the ballot question to start trying to have that meeting as soon as possible. I've also, we ran through 6 states with the 18th Judicial to get them out here and not only talk about their 2022 budget plans, but also the 23rd Judicial plans and their future court needs. So they've not been able to We just don't have a good date with those guys yet. I think we will invite them to that public work study session and encourage them to come, but we might have to have a separate meeting with the courts or the current 18th Judicial to kind of see what their requirements are, but we'll factor them into the overall story that we were talking about.
Well, we do hold some of their purse strings, so if it comes to to that, we can get a time, I'm sure.
Yep.
Thanks. Any public comment on this item? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to action items. Thank you, Sam. First item we have is a public hearing for the Elizabeth Area Chamber of Commerce. It's a special event liquor permit for their Pints in the Pines event on the 18th of September. I'd entertain a motion to open public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we open public hearing on the Elizabeth Area Chamber Special Event Liquor Permit for Pints and Plains.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to enter public hearing for liquor permit for the Pints in the Pines. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. So, Dallas, we have the paperwork. Everything seems relatively in order, so. Oop.
All the paperwork's in order.
Dallas indicates all the paperwork is in order. Okay, do you have any questions or comments?
No.
Okay. Do we have any public comment on this item? Seeing none, I'll close public comment, and I would entertain a motion to approve the permit as submitted.
I'll make a motion, we approve the Elizabeth Area Chamber Special Event Liquor Permit for Pints in the Pines.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the permit as presented. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. I'd take a motion to close public hearing on this item.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we close the public hearing on this item.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We are out of public hearing to consider our next item, approval of the August 24th, 2021 special meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion, we approve the August 24th, 2021 special meeting minutes and dispense with the reading.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes of the August 24th special meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Last action item we have is approval of the regular meeting minutes from August 25th.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the August 25th, 2021 minutes and dispense with the reading of those minutes.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of August 25th, 2021 and dispense with the reading of the minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Alrighty, board planning. I know not our next meeting, but I think Dallas, you had said the first meeting of October you wanted to bring us the proposed commissioner district maps. Okay, yeah, get that teed up. We'll have along with other regular consent items, we'll have the acceptance of the Augusta Loop segment set up. Do you have anything else teed up, Sam, at this point? You guys? Okay. And we'll work on the schedule on the study session on the Justice Center. So anyway, that'll get us going. We do have an item at 1 p.m. here. It's going to be a continuance for a land use item, Mountain Heart Woodworks. They've got some things they need to work through still with the fire district. So we're going to recess now. It's 10:02, and we'll reconvene just to handle that continuance at 1 p.m. at this location. So thank you for your time.